What if the hero on your youth group playlist isn't quite the saint everyone believes? Before we dive in, a quick heads up. This story centers on allegations of non-consensual contact and hidden substance use, none of which have been proven in court. If that's heavy, feel free to pause or watch with a friend. Ready? Let's take a careful look behind the curtain. Hearts once lifted by arena anthems may beat for a very different reason tonight. Grab your headphones and stay sharp. The next few minutes move fast. Every detail you'll hear comes from people who say they were there, but remember, these are still claims. By the end, you can decide for yourself whether the legend deserves the spotlight. You'll see names, dates, and receipts that never reach the fan forums. Keep an eye on the corners of your screen. Supporting evidence appears in real time, and each reveal raises the stakes. 3 broke college kids in a Virginia dorm, once jammed between theology lectures. Those hallway riffs morphed into DC Talk, a band that packed 150 cities and raced straight to the Grammys. In 1995, their song Jesus Freak clung to the Billboard chart for 79 weeks, and parents cheered because grunge-obsessed teens traded angst for a safe anthem. When DC Talk paused in 2001, Michael Tait grabbed the mic for Newsboys and helped drive God's Not Dead to platinum and a cameo in a faith flick that topped $60 million. Merch exploded, hoodies, lunchboxes, even glow-in-the-dark wristbands shouting the chorus. On conference stages, he was introduced as the safe hero. Tour buses lined up like rolling churches, and every night felt like a crusade on wheels. Yet behind the fog machines, low-level techs whispered a different tune. One monitor guy was warned, "Don't knock on that dressing room door after midnight." A caterer at a 2007 festival watched guards surround one RV even though no fans were near it. Ticket demand stayed ravenous. Paychecks rode the next tour, and nothing formal ever leaked. Youth pastors quoted his lyrics, never guessing what crew murmured in shadows. A gold-plated mic followed him everywhere. Some staff joked it doubled as a muzzle. Even the bus driver kept earplugs handy, not for fans, but for rumors ricocheting after midnight. Every bright spotlight casts a long shadow, and some crew swore they could feel the chill. Vague prayer requests circled green rooms whenever chatter got too close to naming names. Booking agents quietly slipped locked door clauses into tour riders. The cheers only grew louder, drowning out every half-heard warning. Folks assumed that kind smile meant the coast was clear. They never asked why the backstage lights sometimes stayed on till dawn. But that wasn't the whole story. Fast forward 2.5 years. Reporters pored over bus logs, backstage passes, and phone pings, interviewing more than 50 insiders, roadies, venue managers, even drivers who tracked rest stops by the mile. A chilling template flashed like copy and paste code. Step 1. Spot a 22-year-old rookie, always 22, usually a musician or crew kid thrilled to be noticed. Step 2. Lavish kindness. Fancy dinners, darts at midnight, brainstorming in plush hotel suites. Step 3. Long after lights out, the mentor line blurs. The timeline glows red at 3 points. 2004, 2010, 2014, same moves, different faces. Investigators circled one guitarist who'd kept silent 15 years, and what he finally shared would set off a chain reaction. Spreadsheet rows lined up like deja vu. Same ages, same tour stops, same late-night windows. An analyst compared the pattern to storm tracks. 3 different years, one identical path. At some point, coincidence stops breathing, and the word pattern starts shouting. The more the team mapped, the more the dots connected like constellations you can't unsee. Coffee-stained charts covered newsroom walls. Each pin, night someone wishes they could erase. The evidence felt less like gossip and more like GPS for the truth. Steven grew up sneaking DC Talk CDs past strict parents. Now, in 2010, he was opening for his childhood idol. First night on tour, Tait covered a steak the size of Steven's guitar case, then slid him pricey bourbon. Weeks later, Steven's GPS pinged at Tait's Brentwood home. They planned to hit a bar but stayed for one quick drink. 3 heavy pours spun the room. Steven puked off a balcony and crashed on a couch. At 4 a.m., he woke, hands on him, lips brushing his. Panic froze him. He muttered a sleepy noise, the contact stopped, both sat in silence. Just before dawn, he slipped out, knowing the family inside mustn't see him. He told his girlfriend a PG-13 slice, just a weird foot rub, and joked with the band, then buried the rest. For a decade, Steven switched stations whenever a Newsboys song played. His favorite childhood poster now hides in a closet, rolled tight like a secret. He finally told himself, "If I stay quiet, the next kid pays my silence bill." Friends noticed he never joined late-night hangs again. They never asked why. Even simple stage banter triggered waves of nausea he hid behind a smile. 15 years later, a phone call shattered the seal. "Dude, something happened in a hot tub back in '05. You need to know." Steven's pulse pounded, memories rushing like floodwater through a broken dam. And what happened next would shock everyone. Winter 2005. Nashville suburbs, backyard spa bubbling under freezing stars. Philip, 22, had just shared demos with his hero. Beer flowed, crew dared each other to skinny dip. Shirts flew, laughter echoed in the steam. People peeled off to bed. Suddenly, only Philip and Tait remained. A shoulder rub slipped lower. Philip's stomach nodded. "Not cool, man," he murmured. The touch stopped. 2 minutes earlier, Tait had made a bizarre boast about a mega-sized body part and flashed proof. Philip dressed, chalked it up to awkward misread, and stayed silent. Until roadside diners buzzed with rumors that matched his night. He says the splash of that spa still echoes louder than any applause he's heard. His journal from that winter shows shaky handwriting and one repeated line. "Was it me?" Only when new stories surfaced did the echo turn into anger. Sometimes he'd drive past that suburb just to prove the house still stood. The memory felt like a locked box rattling in his trunk. Fans remained clueless until 2025 when 15 seconds on TikTok lit the fuse. January 15th. A mid-tier influencer dropped a reel hinting that Tait's private life was nothing like his stage persona. No screenshots, just insinuation. Views rocketed past 1 million before dawn. 24 hours later, Tait quit Newsboys, calling it a shock even to myself. Ticket vendors flooded with refund requests. Promoters groaned about 6-figure losses. The band sprinted into a studio and recut a fresh single in a 12-hour dash. One brand deal vanished so fast, the ink on the ad contract was still wet. Radio stations yanked classic tracks and filled gaps with silence. The fandom split overnight, one waving prayer emojis, the other demanding answers. PR teams scrambled like ants on a dropped popsicle, each trying to spin first. Hashtags flipped between hope and outrage. Somewhere quiet, 3 former rookies refreshed feeds, wondering if anyone finally believed them. Group chats buzzed with, "Did you see this?" and "Told you something felt off." Parents begged kids to pray for wisdom, while critics called for receipts. But the tour bus tale you're about to hear makes that TikTok look tame. Spring 2014 on the We Believe tour. 12 bunks, 136 dates, collapse and repeat. Taylor, yes, 22, was the newest crew kid. After one show, he and Tait lingered up front, sipping cranberry vodka as others slept. Near dawn, the singer unfolded foil holding fine white powder. Taylor waved it off, crawled to his bunk, and drifted out. Moments later, he half woke. Pressure, a hand moving over his jeans. Heart pounding, he shifted just enough to seem awake. The hand retreated. At 7 a.m., he lifted speaker cabinets as if nothing happened. He kept the wristband from that tour in a drawer, a reminder of dream and nightmare. Crew gossip once brushed him off as the shy kid. Now they lean in at his name. Taylor's mission today: warn every rookie that star power isn't safety. He later admitted each bass note felt heavier after that dawn, like the speakers knew the secret too. For years, he blamed himself for staying up late, a guilt that never belonged to him. The message from a fellow survivor felt like oxygen after a decade-long breath hold. Screen in hand, he whispered, "I'm not crazy." That simple sentence changed everything. Why no one spoke sooner? Nashville's unwritten blacklist. One wrong text, and your month of gigs vanishes. A lighting tech was asked, "You team Tait or not?" Then watched his calendar empty. Jokes replaced justice. Trauma became backstage humor. After the TikTok blast, indie labels quietly funded lawyers for crew, and cracks split the fortress of fear. Some NDAs were so strict, they barred crew from speaking to spouses. Hush payments rivaled a year's salary, but only if you signed before asking hard questions. Now whispers of a class action suit give the blacklist something new to fear. Sunlight. Guitar shop whispers turned into cautious nods. The secret language broke open. Safe employer lists passed in private chats. Local news hit walls of no comment. pushing reporters to dig harder. Each refusal felt like gasoline on rumor embers. Yet talk alone won't topple a legend, concrete proof might. Rumor says a 2012 rehearsal was caught on security cam, an unwanted touch frozen on grainy tape, locked in a forgotten drive. A former stage manager now scours padlocked storage units for that dusty box. Metadata could tie time, place, and faces tighter than any testimony. Lawyers fired off preservation letters because once a legal hold notice lands, deleting files slides toward obstruction. If the clip surfaces, streaming sites might toss royalty checks into escrow within hours, freezing an entire catalog. Digital forensics teams stand ready. They can revive footage even from cracked platters. Chain of custody logs read like a thriller. Padlocks, key cards, one missing crate. Public opinion can flip on a single frame. Both legal teams know it. The race is on. Find the drive before fear finds a shredder. Somewhere an old laptop might hold a backup no one remembered. And the longer it stays lost, the louder the hunt becomes. Newsboy's attorney calls the claims unfounded chatter, yet hires a crisis PR squad. Advocacy coalitions demand an independent review with subpoena power. Festivals debate purging classic hits. Streaming giants whisper about holding payouts. Draft subpoenas reportedly name former bandmates, bus drivers, even an accountant. Depositions may run back to back, a marathon meant to break weak stories. Corporate sponsors hover, ready to bolt at the first sworn contradiction. Old fan forums archive every statement for future fact checks. One wrong word under oath, and dominoes tumble. Court calendars fill fast when headlines promise ratings, so cameras may roll for every gasp. If sworn testimony contradicts backstage lore, careers will pivot in real time. Fan petitions already boast thousands of signatures, proving the jury of public opinion is wide awake. Even silent partners hate surprise headlines. Money moves quicker than gossip once contracts shake. Insiders say the first hearing could land sooner than summer tour season. Fame can lift faith or hide harm. Stephen, Philip, and Taylor spoke so others won't face the same silence. Should royalties pause until investigators finish? Should festivals shelve the catalog for now? Drop your take below. Your comment keeps pressure on gatekeepers. Your share might reach someone who needed these receipts years ago. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and binge the playlist popping up on screen. Stay curious, stay brave, and never hush a hard truth. Your voice could be the nudge that unlocks sealed files. Send this video to the friend who wore the tour shirt every Sunday. They deserve the full picture. And if tonight's story stirred up old memories, know you're not alone. Until next drop, keep shining light where shadows love to hide.